If I had learned these important lessons earlier in life, I know I would have lived my life very differently. If the road ahead seems easy and clear, it could mean you're just following someone else's path. Resentment is like drinking poison, but hoping it harms your enemies. In life, it's not about having the best opportunities, but about making the most of the ones you do have. It's important to be careful when choosing your friends. It's better to have a few true friends than a large number of shallow ones. Instead of focusing on small amounts of money, focus on things that truly matter. Small, unnecessary costs can add up and cause you to lose a lot. A problem that starts with anger often ends with regret. A person who can laugh at themselves will never run out of reasons to laugh. When making decisions, remember that it's wise to give yourself time to cool down and think things through, just like coffee needs to cool before drinking. People are really good at keeping secrets, especially when they don't know them. The only real mistake is the one you make and don't learn anything from. Don't judge a day based on what you achieve, but by the seeds you plant for the future. If you're serious about wealth, think of saving as a way of earning. Be yourself, because trying to be anyone else is pointless. Everyone else is already taken. You can only truly understand life when you look back at it, but you must live forward, one step at a time. Even small efforts can lead to great outcomes. Education may be tough in the beginning, but the rewards it brings are worth it. We all stumble and fall at times, but what matters most is how we get back up and keep going. Speak only when your words can add value. Otherwise, silence is golden. Spend your money on things that can be bought, but your time should be invested in things that can't be purchased. People who are always busy rarely have time for idle friends. Opportunity often comes to those who are prepared. Just like one candle can light thousands more without losing any of its own light, sharing happiness only spreads more of it. No one tells lies more often than during an election, war, or after a big hunt. If you know your purpose in life, you can handle almost anything that comes your way. It's not the circumstances we face, but how we react to them that shapes who we are. There's a constant battle inside each of us. One part is good, the other is bad. The one that wins is the one you choose to feed. A goal is simply a dream with a deadline. Remember the good times and let the bad ones fade away. Don't put off until tomorrow what can be done today. Treat others as you would like to be treated yourself. Don't judge your worth by how big your shadow is at sunset. Sometimes, when your enemy makes a mistake, it's better to stay quiet instead of interrupting them. A person who is friendly to everyone might not truly have any real friends. It's better to break a promise than to make one you can't keep. Both optimists and pessimists play important roles in society. The optimist invents the airplane, and the pessimist creates the parachute. Sometimes, a woman's intuition is far more accurate than a man's certainty. Ignorance is the root of all evil in the world. A person who's never happy with what they have will never be satisfied at all. A bad friend is like a shadow, always there when things are good, but disappearing when the clouds arrive. Understanding a question is already half the answer. What we know is just a tiny drop, and what we don't know is like an ocean. If you want to see change in the world, start by being the change yourself. Perfection is not about adding more, but about removing what is unnecessary. Simplicity is the mark of maturity, and never spoil a good apology with excuses. Looking back on my life, I realized that these lessons are not just wise sayings, but truths that shape our experiences and our decisions. In our busy world, it's easy to get caught up in small details or distractions, but the bigger picture is always about the choices we make and how we learn from them. As I continue to grow and learn, I know these lessons will guide me, helping me make better decisions and live a more meaningful life. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and sometimes we face challenges that seem impossible to overcome. But what defines us is not the challenges themselves, but how we respond to them. Are we going to let resentment control us? Or are we going to let go of the negativity and focus on what we can change? Life is a series of decisions, and every decision, whether big or small, shapes the path we walk on. We all have the power to choose the kind of life we want to live. The key is not to focus on the obstacles in front of us, but to focus on how we approach them. Life is not about waiting for things to happen. It's about making things happen. We all face setbacks and tough times, but it's how we rise from those moments that truly defines who we are. Every experience, whether good or bad, teaches us something valuable. The lessons I've learned so far have been crucial in shaping who I am today. I now understand that life is not about holding on to anger or resentment, but about learning from every situation and moving forward. We all have the power to change, to improve, and to make a positive impact on the world around us. It's not always easy, but with patience, self-awareness, and a little help from these life lessons, we can achieve far more than we think. In the end, life is about more than just surviving, it's about thriving. It's about making the most of the opportunities we have and learning from the mistakes we make along the way. We should embrace the lessons life teaches us and use them to grow into the best version of ourselves. Every day is a chance to start fresh, to do better, and to live a life full of meaning and purpose. Education is what stays with us after we forget everything we learned in school. It's not about having little, but about constantly wanting more that leads to poverty. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with just one step. It can seem impossible, but once it's done, it was never as hard as it seemed. Imagine how many things you'd try if you knew you couldn't fail. Getting married means gaining rights, but also taking on double the responsibility. The things that don't kill us only make us stronger. Fear only exists in our minds. You can't wait around for inspiration. You need to chase it actively. The memories of those who have passed away live on through those of us who are still here. Procrastination steals time, and if you want to be a leader, you need to offer hope. If you can't explain something simply to a child, it's likely you don't fully understand it yourself. We aren't rich because of what we own, but because of what we can live without. A friendship that's built on business is more solid than a business built on friendship. As a child, I prayed to God for a bicycle. But as I grew, I realized that God works differently. I stole a bike, then prayed for forgiveness. Sometimes, failure can teach us thousands of lessons, but victory only brings one. When you feel angry, take a moment to think about the consequences of your actions. Always keep your advice short and to the point. When life hands you challenges, try to make the best of them. People should be judged by their curiosity and questions, not by their answers. Laziness often holds back your ambitions. The most honorable work God created was man himself. Be respectful to everyone, friendly with many, but keep your true friends few and close. When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live in such a way that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. When you look back at the struggles of your life, you might one day realize that they were the most beautiful parts of your journey. The things you fear the most are often the tasks you need to face. Those who are hardest to love are the ones who need it the most. If you can dream something, you can achieve it. Seek approval, not from others, but from knowing that you've done your best. Sometimes, silence is better than speaking out and confirming your foolishness. Success is never permanent, and failure isn't fatal. What really matters is the courage to keep going. Time moves slowly when we're watching it pass, but it's always there for anyone who knows how to use it. Thinking is hard work, which is why not many people take the time to do it. Do the best you can with whatever resources you have, wherever you are. We often love ourselves more than others, but we care more about their opinions than our own. Whatever the mind can imagine and believe, it can achieve. A liar's punishment isn't that they aren't believed, but that they can no longer trust anyone else. Experience is the best teacher. Sometimes, what might seem like an abnormal reaction is actually a normal response to an abnormal situation. The most valuable things we learn in school aren't things that can actually be taught. One person looking into a puddle might only see dirt, while another can see stars reflected in the same water. A happy marriage is like a long conversation that always seems too short. Anyone who has the ability to make you angry has control over you, but only if you let them. No one can make you happy or unhappy unless you allow it. Worrying about tomorrow is pointless. Tomorrow will handle itself. Every day brings its own set of challenges. Sometimes the simplest words like yes or no require the most thought. Courage doesn't mean having the strength to keep going, but having the will to continue even when you feel weak. Words are powerful if used wisely. They can cut deep. Discipline brings true freedom. Among all the liars in the world, sometimes the most dangerous ones are the fears we carry within ourselves. People only see the version of you that you choose to show them, but very few will understand who you truly are. There are only 3 key events in a man's life: birth, life, and death. He's unaware of his birth, dies in pain, and often forgets to live fully in between. Life moves quickly, and we spend so much of it worrying about things that either don't matter or things we can't change. Every moment that passes is a moment that can't be retrieved. Our time here is precious, and how we spend it shapes everything. If we waste too much time on unnecessary fears, regrets, or worries, we miss out on the true beauty of living. Learning doesn't end in school. The most important lessons often come later in life, through personal experiences. It's these experiences, the struggles, and the wisdom gained that define who we are. So while school can teach us certain facts, it's the experiences that form the foundation of our growth. Sometimes, the most difficult parts of life are the moments we least expect. Challenges that feel impossible to overcome can often lead to the greatest personal transformations. Embrace these challenges, learn from them, and know that each obstacle can teach you something valuable. You're never too old to learn, and every moment brings the chance for growth. At the end of the day, it's not how much you have, but how much you give and learn that counts. The way you live, the decisions you make, and the love you give all shape the kind of person you become. Life is a journey, and the most important part isn't the destination, it's the lessons, love, and wisdom gained along the way. Life can often feel overwhelming, especially when faced with tough decisions or difficult challenges. But every setback holds a lesson, and every struggle has the potential to shape you into a stronger, wiser person. Even in the darkest moments, there's always a spark of hope, a chance to rise above the difficulties. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about how you react to it and what you learn from it. Each experience, whether good or bad, adds to the person you become. When we think of success, we often focus on external achievements like wealth or recognition. But true success lies in how well we manage our inner world, our emotions, thoughts, and reactions. It's about maintaining peace within ourselves, even when the world around us is chaotic. The ability to remain calm in the face of adversity, to keep a positive mindset when things aren't going your way, is what defines real strength. We must also remember that happiness doesn't come from external sources, it comes from within. You can't rely on other people or material things to fill the void. True contentment comes from embracing who you are, accepting your flaws, and finding joy in the small, everyday moments. Learning to appreciate life for what it is, rather than constantly seeking more, is one of the greatest lessons we can learn. So, as you continue on your journey, keep in mind that life isn't just about reaching the destination, it's about the growth, lessons, and experiences that come with each step along the way. And in the end, the way you live and the love you give will be what truly matters.